So today, we're diving into the wild new reality of AI. We're talking about a world where dancing robots, smart toilets, and, deep philosophical questions about existence itself all start to collide. Let's get right into it. Yeah, the future is getting really weird. AI is breaking out of the research lab and showing up in these tangible, unexpected, and frankly pretty bizarre ways that are forcing all of us to rethink what's even possible. I mean, case in point, it turns out our classic dance move, the robot, is all wrong. When you see what a real modern robot can do on a dance floor, it's got this funk, this vibe that's just shockingly human. And that's just one tiny example of how our old assumptions are getting completely thrown out the window. So first up, let's explore AI's strange new world. Because this isn't science fiction anymore, right? This is technology showing up in our physical world, from our bathrooms to the battlefield, in ways that have some very real-world consequences.
Okay, how about an AI-powered toilet? For a pretty steep $600 upfront cost, plus a subscription fee, this thing will actually scan your waste to give you health insights. But it immediately brings up this huge question. How do you keep that kind of incredibly personal data secure? And are you really ready for a toilet subscription service?
And this rapid push of AI into, every corner of our lives is causing some serious alarm bells to go off. A letter from the Future of Life Institute, which called for a pause on these giant AI experiments, got over 23,000 signatures from top experts on its very first day. It's a really clear sign that even the people building this stuff feel like the risks of rushing ahead might be catastrophic. Now, it's not just about individual gadgets. AI is also starting to connect us in new ways, creating these real-world hive minds that augment our collective abilities in some seriously powerful ways. And you can really see the two sides of the coin here. On the one hand, you've got military tech, where soldiers and drones share this unified live view of a battlefield, letting an AI warn a soldier about a threat they literally can't even see. But on the other hand, Amazon's using a very similar concept for its delivery drivers. They're getting AR glasses that map out routes and share warnings about hazards, like a dog in the yard. It's the same core idea, a shared, real-time intelligence network. But of course, as we weave this tech deeper and deeper into our lives, we're also starting to find the unintended consequences, the viruses, the glitches, and the ghosts in the machine that are affecting not just our digital security, but our own minds. We've always been told that on-device AI is safer, right? Because it keeps your data local. Well, this new living off the land attack completely flips that idea on its head. It hijacks the very AI that was designed to protect you and turns it against you. So here's how this works, and it's pretty insidious. An attacker gets control of the AI on your phone. Then, that AI uses your phone's own legitimate tools to build custom malware right there on the device. And finally, it executes the attack, adapting as it goes without ever needing to call home to a command server. It's basically like a biological virus hijacking a cell's own machinery to replicate itself. It's turning our own technology against us.
And the glitches aren't just in our devices, they're showing up in our own heads. There's this thing called game transfer phenomenon. It's what happens when the virtual world starts to bleed into the real one. Hearing in-game sound effects while you're walking down the street, or for a split second seeing health bars over people's heads.
And get this isn't some rare, fringe thing. Studies are finding that over 96% of hardcore gamers experience it. It's this incredible look into how these deeply immersive virtual worlds can actually reshape our perception of reality because they tap into the exact same brain systems that help us form memories. And you better believe that global investors are noticing the value of these virtual worlds. I mean, when the company behind these massive virtual societies, like The Sims, gets bought for $55 billion, that's more than Twitter was valued at. It makes you wonder, is this really just about owning games, or is it about owning entire virtual societies that are just waiting to be upgraded with AI? Which brings us to an even deeper question. We can see what AI does, but what is actually going on inside its brain? How does it think? For the longest time, the thinking was pretty simple. Just throw more data at an AI, and it'll get smarter. But some really interesting new research out of Harvard suggests that powerful reasoning might already be sitting there, inside these models. The key isn't just more data. It's about finding smarter ways of asking questions to unlock the intelligence that's already there. It's like the potential was there the whole time. You just had to know how to ask. And this leads to this beautiful, kind of profound idea about where meaning even comes from for an AI. It's not stored like a file in a folder. Instead, meaning just sort of emerges from the geometry of the AI's internal latent space, this incredible multi-dimensional map that's been shaped and bent by all the data it's ever seen. So intelligence isn't a search through a database, it's a flow through this internal landscape. Now what's really wild is that this internal structure seems to be eerily similar to our own. A new study found that if you ask a person and an LLM to shorten a sentence, they both tend to delete the exact same logical, grammatical chunks. It suggests that they're both relying on these tree-like mental structures to process language. So AI isn't just mimicking words, it seems to be developing an internal grammar that actually mirrors the deep structure of how we think.
And if AI is starting to mirror the way we think, well, that forces us to pull the camera all the way back, to zoom out and ask the biggest question of all. What even is this reality that both of us are now trying to understand?
Okay, this is where things get really trippy. We start bumping into ideas like the holographic principle. It's a concept from theoretical physics, and it suggests that our entire three-dimensional universe might just be a projection, like a hologram, of information that's stored on some distant two-dimensional surface at the edge of the cosmos.
And this idea connects to this huge philosophical shift. What if consciousness isn't something that happens inside the universe? What if the universe is something that is experienced through consciousness? That reframes everything. It suggests that we, and maybe everything, are the universe observing itself.
Think about it. For all of human history, we've been the only observers we know of. But now, right now, we are building artificial intelligences that can also observe and reason and understand. So if reality is truly shaped by the act of observation, what happens when we introduce a completely new, non-human observer into the system? What is it going to see, and how might its observation change everything?